hello. You gonna do Chaturanga with us? Are you gonna do Chaturanga with us? Hi everybody, my name is Mackenzie and welcome back to Wild Thing Yoga. Today we're learning how to Chaturanga. So, Chaturanga is a fancy Sanskrit word for a tricep push-up, and it is the basis of all the inversion practices, the arm balances. Really building a strong Chaturanga will help empower your entire practice. With that being said, it is often an over-practiced pose, and by that I mean it's in every power vinyasa class you'll take, even in some hatha yoga classes. Chaturanga makes its appearance because it is so good at toning and strengthening all of the right parts to really build a strong practice. Being so popular can lead to some issues when it's practiced incorrectly. Our rotator cuff is a very sensitive muscle region. Our shoulder is actually only comprised of 3 bones: the acromion of the scapula, the clavicle, your collarbone, and the humerus, the long bone in your arm. So there's really not much stability. It's actually a very shallow ball and socket joint. I'm going to be releasing a video that talks more about anatomy coming up soon. So it really is important that we're not putting too much stress on our shoulders, because repeated wear and tear into the rotator cuff can do exactly just that. It can tear the cuff, and then that leads to a very long recovery process. So I'm going to break down Chaturanga step by step, going from not being able to do it at all to the full expression of four-limb staff pose, and let's get started. So the first way to practice a Chaturanga, if you have blocks, a strap, or a bolster, hit pause on the video now and come back. We'll get started. We're going to be using all of these toys to learn the proper movement. So to begin, Chaturanga is essentially just a push-up with the arms closer together. So coming to a plank pose. As you begin to practice Chaturanga, it's easy to want to do the full expression. Instead, drop the knees down onto your mat first. Lower the chest and the chin at the same time in what's called knees, chest, chin. And then begin to slide the heart forward into your baby cobra. That is the first beginner's option for Chaturanga, this knees, chest, chin. What are you doing? Go away. It will help you build the strength and the stability to support the body. Wow, you really want to be here. To support the body for Chaturanga. Excuse me, sir. Next progression of the pose is to come back to your plank, lower the knees down, and begin to lower the chest, but instead of letting the elbows splay out, putting a lot of pressure on the pinky side of the hands, keep your elbows rotated back so that the eyelets of the armpit elbows shine forward, and begin to drop the chest as low to the ground as possible until you can lay on your belly. So that's option 2, building up the strength. We want to move very slowly. Option 3 is to take the full expression. So once you've built up enough strength to be able to lower yourself through Chaturanga, you're going to start in plank. Shift the weight forward. Begin to bend at the elbows, sending them back behind you until you can lower down to this position here. Really engaging through the belly. A push-up in shorthand. Some tricks to be able to build up that strength. Since it's a very simple pose, there's not many things to explain alignment-wise other than really making sure your ribs are hugging together, your belly button draws to your spine, and the elbows draw back and stay really close to the rib cage. The bottoms of the elbows line up almost exactly with the bottom of your rib cage in this pose. The hands, wrists are stacked directly under the elbows. To begin to work up to building strength, going from step 2 to step 3, from when we were on our knees to the full lifted expression of the pose. You can take your strap or belt. You just kind of get it set up. So you make a little loop and you slide your arms into it, just slightly above the elbows, making sure you got enough room. It doesn't have to be so super tight. You can tuck the tail away or just drop it over to the side. Excuse me. So mine needs to be a little bit tighter because, as you can see, it's got a lot of slack. You don't really want that much slack in the strap as you're going, because you're going to want to lay your chest down onto the strap. So starting off on our knees, really pushing the backs of the arms into your strap so that it stays nice and tight. As you lower down, the elbows still come back behind you. The chest is going to rest on the strap. So right now I have very little weight distributed in my body. My strap is taking most of my body weight, but it's making sure that my elbows don't splay out to the sides, putting excess stress into my rotator cuff. So you can take a couple of the push-ups on your knees, beginning to build the strength. You're not really going to get very low because, again, the strap is going to stop you. Once you go to practice the full extension, you'll notice that it's significantly easier to maintain this posture. It takes so much pressure out of the shoulders. You really could stay here all day long. It's not as taxing when you have the strap holding some of your weight. So again, making sure you're pushing outwards, bringing the elbows back behind you, and laying the chest onto the strap if you want to play with the strap. That'll be able to keep your arms in nice alignment. Once you're able to keep the alignment of your arms without your strap, you can take your blocks, placing them about shoulder width apart. The hands come right behind the blocks, the middle fingers touching the blocks. You can lift up onto the toes. Begin to shift the weight forward and lay your shoulders onto the blocks. And then press yourself back up. Lay the shoulders onto the blocks. Press yourself back up. Take a couple rounds of the push-up, beginning to build the strength in the tricep without worrying about dumping into the shoulders once you reach your full extension of the motion. The blocks can be dropped down to the lower heights. And repeated the exercise. You don't want to go much lower than the middle height. You can flip them down to the lowest height just in case you work yourself to exhaustion or till failure. They're good to just kind of keep there in case you're afraid of hitting your face on the ground. If you don't have blocks, but you have a bolster or a cushy, thick body pillow, you can also use your bolster. Placing the hands underneath you, coming to find your plank, and then lowering the belly down onto the bolster. Pushing yourself back up, lowering the belly down onto the bolster, pushing yourself back up. So each of these tools help to get into a different part of the posture. The strap helps you with the rotation of the humerus in the shoulder joint. The blocks help you learn the correct retraction of the shoulder blades down the spine so that you have a nice flat back. And your bolster helps teach you the proper distance to lower yourself down. So happy practicing, happy Chaturanga-ing. And our next video will be building the body strength to properly execute this pose. The class after that will be an advanced class. So really getting into the poses and the practice teaches so much and gives you so much to explore. I hope you have a wonderful time. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Let me know how you got on. I'm out of breath right now from all of those push-ups. Let me know if you are too. Keep the conversation going. I want to hear from you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.